it's Letitia. Welcome back to my channel. This is my 50th FlosStube video. Um, it's been a few weeks since I made an update, so you'll notice that this is my regular format where I just go straight through. The past several videos I've been doing like a vlog style update because I find it easier to update as I go with my rotation and then glue them all together for one big and usually lengthy video. So as a result, this video is probably not going to be as long as my ones as of late have been. They've been easily over an hour each because of all of the vlog segments that I've been inserting. So I'm going to go back to that style because I just haven't been recording. I haven't been recording, and as a result, I also have quite a few whip updates for you today. The last video I recorded was recorded a while ago, and I just never uploaded it. So this one, this is Monday, President's Day. I forget the date. I want to say the 15th, 16th, whatever. It's President's Day, and I'm off. So this was a great time to do a quick update. So that being said, all of the things that I've been working on between the time my last video was recorded and now, which has actually been like, I think a month, over a month. It's only been a few weeks since my last upload, but it's actually been well over, I believe, well over a month since I've actually recorded. So got a lot of nice updates for you with things that I'm not working on right now, but that I have been posting on Instagram and on Facebook that I am pretty sure you guys will appreciate seeing. So I know that there's been a lot of comments on my last video as well, and I just haven't had a chance to go back and respond to them, but I usually try to respond to everybody's comments, so I will be responding to all of you. So if you had questions that were lingering, I apologize for the delay, but you know, life. But I'm definitely planning to go back and respond to all of those. So thank you in advance for those comments. Just lost my train of thought there. So I want to give a few shout outs. The first shout out is for Eclectic Reads. Eclectic Reads is a channel hosted by Shaun. He is a new male stitcher within the community. Maybe not necessarily brand new to stitching. I think he recently picked it up, but he is certainly new to the FlosStube community. But he's been an avid booktuber. So if you are a reader or you appreciate book reviews, go back and check him out. But he now has a couple of FlosStube videos up. And I found him by way of the Sunshine Stitchers, who gave him a shout out on their, either their most recent or one of their recent videos, because I haven't been watching FlosStube, so I was playing catch up with them. But they gave him a shout out, and they mentioned EJ mentioned his Audrey Hepburn piece. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Audrey Hepburn fan. I absolutely love her. So I had to go see. And he did not disappoint. It's a beautiful full coverage piece. And he focuses mainly on full coverage pieces. He has a beautiful backstory too, an inspirational backstory is more like it, on how he got into stitching and how long he's wanted to stitch and why he never got into it. So he is now in it full throttle with his full coverage pieces and has some spectacular ideas to chart some vintage album covers. So go check him out. Show him some love. His name is Shaun, and he is Eclectic Reads, and his channel will be linked below. I also want to give a shout out to a few friendly faces that I am so sure if you have not seen them yet, you have heard of them. I gave them a shout out a few weeks back on Facebook, but I never recorded, so this is my delayed but not denied shout out to the Sassy Stitching Sisters and Brother. I'm not sure if that's the exact title, but I will link it below again. And I'm talking about Maggie, Zoe, and Wyatt, who are three young stitchers who are taking FlosStube by storm with their fantastic updates, with their energy, their information. They are knowledgeable young stitchers, and I am just thrilled every time I see them because it brings my heart so much joy to see younger generations getting into this craft that we love so dearly. So if you have not already seen them, please go check them out and support them and show them some love. You won't be disappointed. And finally, a shout out to a young crafter who, if you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, I've been showing him a lot of love lately. He is not a stitcher, but I'm telling you, this kid, he brings me so much joy. When I see his updates, it's like almost tear-jerking with his enthusiasm and his wit and his intelligence and his ambition. He just, so he is a crocheter. His name is Jonah from Wisconsin. He is YouTube and his Instagram are Jonah's Hands, and I will link both below. But Jonah has a fantastic story, but his current story is what is mind-blowing to me. But he was born an orphan, or he wasn't born an orphan, he was orphaned in Ethiopia. And he was adopted as a baby by a loving family in Wisconsin. And he found a crochet hook from a bag of stuff that was given to him by his aunt, or that he found within a bag that his aunt had, something like that. And he was attracted to this shiny hook and wanted to know what it did. So he went on YouTube and he found all sorts of crocheting tutorials, and he basically started crocheting. And to say that he basically started crocheting is the understatement of the century. He's been coined a crochet prodigy, both based on his ability to master his craft starting at 5 years old. I don't know if I mentioned it. He's 11. But he started at 5, and he crochets with a level of speed that fascinates and amazes me. And I've been crocheting since I was 8 years old. And I'm telling you right now, what I was crocheting at 8 does not look like what he produces. He was recently on the Pickler and Ben show with Kelly Pickler, I'm sorry, from American Idol fame. And I didn't even know about this show, but he posted that he was on this talk show, and I recorded it to watch him. And CBS Evening News just came to his house this past week. But this kid is amazing because, number one, of what he produces, and it's not like cutesy stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. If you have any appreciation for yarn crafts, whether it be crocheting or knitting, treat yourself and go visit this young man. But he produces all of these finished products. But one of the things that he does is send it back to the orphanage in Ethiopia, so he can give back to, the orphanage, that took care of him until he was adopted. And his story is not sad because it has such a happy ending. But what I love about this young man is he knows what he wants to do. He wants to go to West Point. And once he finishes his education at West Point, he wants to become a surgeon, and he's using his crochet to train his hands, because he's read that makes a surgeon's hands more dexterous. And I've read that too, and I'm just overwhelmingly impressed with this young man, and I want to eat him up, and I just shout him out every time I see him. I just love him. I know Melissa from Melissa and Amber Stitches just posted a video. I know Kyle has been showing him some love, and I think it was through Kyle where I found him. So even if you're not into yarn, if you want a feel-good story, if you just want to believe in the future of our children, just please go watch him and show him some love. He probably does. I know he doesn't watch me because he doesn't do cross stitch, but I wanted to let you guys know. So huge shout out to our younger generation of crafters, and to Shaun. Welcome to the community. Updates. I'm looking over here because my notes over here. I have one major update. This year so far has been so very different for me. I have not purchased anything cross-stitch related since the beginning of the year. I mean, since last year, let's be clear. Since last year, I have not made any cross-stitch not even a skein of DMC, no purchases whatsoever. And I normally, you know, I like my cross stitch. I like my projects. I like the new and shiny stuff. But I attest my experience this year so far to the fact that I have this rotation. So if you watch my previous videos, you know I've introduced a rotation this year where I have 6 or 7 projects that I want to focus on a finish. And I'm giving all of them a 2-week rotation throughout the year. Some of them won't see, and it balances out where I think I have at least 3 or 4 rotations with each of these main projects, right? And add to that the 2019 Linens and Threads Peacock Sal, which I'm failing epically. You know me and Sal's, I don't do well. And this, unfortunately, is proving to be the same story. I started the Peacock and I slowly work on it, but it's already, the February frame already came out. I haven't even finished the bird, you know what I mean? So we'll see where that goes. But, and then there's the whole sunflower. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. The sunflower for Troy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That bit that I showed in my last video, that's where I'm at now. Don't judge me. Right. So I have 6 or 7 things that I'm working on throughout 2019 that I want to focus on a finish. And I went through all of these things, all of these in my last video. I believe I showed my whip parade, and incorporated into that, I have 12 projects that I want to show some love during High Tea. So as you know, High Tea is hosted by Off the Grid Needle Arts in her Friday Off the Grid group. And every month we celebrate, at the last Sunday of the month, we celebrate a project. Originally, it was designed, and it still is designed, to celebrate a new start, where you're going into your stash and you're celebrating the things that you've purchased and never started. But to suit my needs and my focus for this year, I decided to use my whips that I've started, I've worked on, I've loved, and I just stopped because I keep starting all the things. I keep pulling out all the things. I keep buying all the things. So this year, there are 12 projects that I want to show some love. So I pull them out on the last Sunday of every month, and I work on them every single Friday thereafter for the Friday Off the Grid Stitchin. And if you don't know about that, I'll link that information below. But by now, I'm sure most of you know about the Friday Off the Grid Stitchin. Sorry, just got an email. So where was I? So that being said, I don't have, the only things that I purchase every month, and I don't consider this a purchase because it's an ongoing subscription, is my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. And I said I wasn't going to do my Silks For You thread of the month anymore, but I just paid the invoice because I'm weak. But other than that, there haven't been any purchases whatsoever, just my 2 subscriptions. So the last thing that I actually received from last year's purchases, and I waited forever to receive this. I was enabled by Tash. I was enabled by Bev. I was enabled by all the people that have been posting this. And this is the Owl Forest Embroidery. I think we just call it the whale. I'm sure you've seen it, but this fantastical creature is filled with cross stitch. It looks like black work. Maybe it's not black work. I don't know. But I just love everything about this. And this is how the kit comes. I don't think she has any left, but our beautiful friend McKenna recently acquired a multitude of Owl Forest Embroidery kits on 1884stitchery.com. Pretty sure these probably sold out quickly. Her stuff sells out like that. And McKenna, if I was purchasing stuff this year, yeah, I'd be all over your site. But I'm not, but I'll be there eventually. So I just want to show you this kit because I thought it was beautifully packaged. I was very impressed with it. So it comes with this little card. Everything's in Russian, so I can't read it, but you know what to do. It comes with a beautiful piece of fabric. This is linen, and it's hand dyed. If you have, this is giving you a bad angle here. It reminds me of Mellow from Picture This Plus. It reminds me a lot of Mellow from Picture This Plus. I think it's either 32 count or 36. I'm not sure. I think it's 32, to be honest with you. But that's the hand-dyed fabric it comes with. Like I said, this is a bad angle with the lighting, but it really looks like Mellow from Picture This Plus. Comes with this, your chart. It even comes with a needle minder to match the pattern. My assumption is that all of the needle minders match the pattern because this is a little boat, not unlike, guys, I should have put my phone on airplane mode because it just had a call come in. So this is a little boat. It's not going to focus. And it's very similar to the boats in the pattern. So I'm not sure if they have a needle minder that matches all of their patterns, but I thought it was pretty cool that it came with a needle minder. And then you get these flosses, beautiful variegated flosses, beautifully packaged with bobbins, these little skeins. I think it's fantastic. So it's a beautiful kit. I will link below where I got mine, but like I said, I invite you to go to 1884 Stitchery or reach out to McKenna to see if or when she's getting more in. Support small businesses, but I'll still link below where I purchased my kit. And that being said, that's all I have to show for haul. That was the last piece of haul that I received, aside from, like I said, my subscription fabric of the month and my flosses from Silks For You, which, like I said, I'm probably going to cancel soon because I love the thread of the month subscriptions, but I never use them. I just like collect them. I was with Trisha's group from 3 Hour Threads for the longest time, and I loved getting the 10 skeins of Weeks. What did I get? I got Weeks, was it Gentle Arts and Crescent Colors? I don't know. But I literally was just collecting them, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm not using them. But I loved her Thread of the Month Club. But I did cancel that. And I'm probably going to cancel the Thread of the Month for Silks For You, which are also beautiful threads. I used to have Color and Cotton Thread of the Month a long time ago. Again, beautiful threads, but I canceled that for the same reason. I just seem to collect the threads, and for me, I like collecting the fabrics more than the threads. And this is coming from somebody that used to never be into hand-dyed fabrics, right? How times have changed. So with that being said, let's get into the whips. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whips to show you. And right now I'm only working on 2 of them actively, but still. The first one is one that has been around for exactly 2 years now. I started this in January of 2016. And I worked on this for 2 weeks, and I kind of shocked myself at the amount of progress that I made on it. And I feel very confident that when this comes back up in April, we will have a finish. So with that, I give you Desiderata by Indigo Rose. I'm going to try to do this like this because it's very long. Here is the beginning. And there is the end. And I hope all of that is in there. So that is Desiderata. You guys know that this is, or you may not know, so I will tell you, this is a present for my husband. He has never seen it. He doesn't even know I'm working on it. And I know with all of my heart, he appreciates all of the work that I do, all of my cross stitch. But what I know with all of my heart is that he will absolutely love this and appreciate this when I give it to him, because he used to tell me when we first started dating, I think, He used to always tell me how much he loved that poem, the Desiderata poem, because his mother used to read it to him and his brother and his sisters as children. And it's kind of, like an unspoken code that they live their lives by. And I believe that because all four of them, meaning him and his siblings, are just fantastic human beings, kind, courteous, generous, loving human beings. Just some of my favorite people. So I believe him when he said when he said that his mother um, basically raised them on this poem. And when you go into her home, you see it hanging in her home. You see a print of it hanging. So it's still constant reminder. So I know when I give that to him, it will be a very, very special moment. So I believe I'm going to have that done when it comes up in the next rotation in April. The hard part is going to be holding back or giving it to him. Like, I would love to give it to him for Father's Day. I don't know if I'll make it 2 months with that hiding. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I might get it framed and just be like, here, as an I love you gift. I don't know. But it would be pretty epic to wait until Father's Day, wouldn't it? I don't know. I might get too excited. We'll see. We shall see. The next one I worked on was blue Moroccan lace. And I paused because I don't know if I'm going to go through the trouble of editing this to show you where I was when I last showed it to you. I might just record this and just put it out there and go through the trouble in the next video. So this is blue Moroccan lace. I worked on this this was from February 1st to February 15th, which was Friday. So this is a 2-week progress. When I started over here. I didn't finish. You can look on my Instagram page, but if you look on my Instagram page and you see the side by side of, actually, I'll throw that picture in here now because I actually did that. So that was a picture of my side by side, where I started on my 2-week rotation and where I ended. So this was a lot of progress. Very proud of that. Blue Moroccan Lace by Chatelaine Designs. Again, this is one of the ones that I hope to finish this year, but I honestly can't tell with my progress if I'll actually finish it. I don't know, because there's still a lot of beading left to do, basically all of the beading left to do. And these 4 corners, I finished one of the corners that I just showed you, and I'm halfway finished the top part. And because it's a mandala, the pattern repeats on all 4 sides, but I don't know if I'm actually going to finish it. I can't tell because the stitching is so dense. But if I don't finish it this year, I can almost guarantee a finish for next year, but I'm shooting for this year. This one is probably going to work its way into my rotation. So we did it again. We got another phone call, but now I'm in airplane mode. So we should be good. So, excuse me, as I was saying, this next one I'm going to show you is probably going to replace Desiderata in my 2019 rotation once I finish Desiderata, because I'm determined to finish it in that next 2-week rotation. But I'm going to bring this one back in because I started this as my new year, new start. The whole backstory is in my last video, but the quick and dirty version of it is I started it last year. I started it incorrectly, had to rip everything out, ended up switching out the fabric to put in to use on my peacock for the linen and thread peacock sow. And then I used the original fabric chosen for the peacock sow for this, and I am so happy that I did. So I don't need to show you a before and after because I started this on January 1st and worked on it through January 15th. I showed an update in my last video, but I didn't show the update That was an older update, so it didn't include these fantastic, can you see it? Jessica heart stitches. You guys, this is Esthers Waist. I want to zoom in on those. Look at those. Look. Look at that. You guys, I love this project so much. This is Esthers Waist by Northern Expressions. Northern Expressions Needleworks. I'm sorry. And this is the specialty stitch version. I did a color conversion. I'm still using Fiberlicious threads. These are all Fiberlicious thread silks, but I used a purple and blue and aqua green color palette instead of the called for like rainbowy kind of colorway. But these these are Jessica heart stitches right here. These things right here, they took, it was so much trial and error that went into these stitches, but they were worth it. This is a classic example of when people say our specialty stitch is hard. Northern Expressions Needleworks gives excellent instructions, but these for me were tricky stitches where I had to try it, fail, try it, fail, try it, fail again until I actually got it down. And that right there is basically how all specialty stitches go. I know when I was posting updates on this piece, people were saying, oh, I could never do specialty stitches, or they seem so daunting to me or so hard. And they are definitely different than cross stitching. But what I can tell you is if you can read the pattern, practice, you might fail. Like I did with those Jessica heart stitches, I failed several times. And by several, I probably mean like 4 or 5 times before I actually got it right. It's not something that you can speed through. It's not something that you want to try to do in a hurry. You want to take your time with it. But as with anything, practice makes perfect. And those are far from perfect, but I'm very proud of them. So if you have any hesitation about doing specialty stitches, those by far are probably the most intricate specialty stitch that I've ever done, which is why I love Northern Expressions Needlework. She introduces you to such a wide variety of specialty stitches that I just think is worth the effort if you're so inclined. Some people have no desire to ever venture into the world of specialty stitches, and that's perfectly fine. But if you do, and what's holding you back is fear, just jump in. Just jump in. It's, it's just stitching. But that right there is a perfect example of what can happen when you keep trying. And even if you mess it up, you just keep trying. And I'm very proud of those. They're just absolutely hats off to Nicole. Beautiful design. Speaking of the Jessica heart stitches, I know when I was posting my updates on Instagram, forgive me, I don't remember who asked, but somebody said that they would love to see me actually stitching those in a stitch with me video, or maybe like just show you how it's done. I absolutely will do that. And I will say in the near future, because that's what I'm saying, that Sitarata, once that's done, that's coming into the rotation next. Yeah. So once I get back there, I'll definitely do that. The last one is my current Friday off the grid party piece. This was my January high tea whip, and this is Opus Magnuson by Long Dog Samplers with my favorite little angry baby. I absolutely love this pattern. I didn't work on this last Friday because I left the project in the car. So I just went ahead and kept working on my blue Moroccan lace. So this piece, I have one more Friday left with it. And this is using all the called for colors. I want to say these are Gentle Art sampler threads. I absolutely love this diamond in the middle. This is 1/1 on 25 count. I started this last year. I was on a cruise. So I started this last June. Um, and I just love it. So this was one of the pieces that I just wanted to show some love this year. So once I'm done working on this, it probably won't come back out unless I finish something in my rotation and add it to the 2019 rotation. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where we are. Last month's high tea, or not last month, but the December high tea whip I pulled out was my Oriental Orchids by Dimensions. I still haven't finished it. That kit is from 2006. And I still didn't finish it. I thought for sure I was going to finish it by working on it every Friday for a month. And I think I was just distracted a lot on those Friday evenings. So I didn't put in as much time as I could have. That probably would have allowed me to finish it. So I don't know. It's already 13 years old. It's another year, right? So we'll see. We'll see if I finish that. That might be like a lunchtime project or a travel project. You know what? I am going to finish that because I have a cruise coming up. That would be good cruise ship stitching. Yeah, I'll finish that this year. Anyway, and I think that's it for my whips. No, it's not. My current whip. Duh. So my current whip for this rotation is my Jacobian bell pull. This is my Leisure Arts pamphlet from 1980 that I found on eBay. I was inspired to search for this pattern and start it because of Deb from the Country Stitchers. She showed her Jacobian bell pull that was finished, and I was in awe, and I had to hurry up and find it. Come to find out, our near and dear friend Ginger Gerald Stitcher is also working on this. I know he has finished his page, and I am almost finished his page. This is the top of the page. So Gerald, I'm coming for you. So this is the top of the page, and once that's done, I'll move on. And I'm going to be with this one until the end of the month. So we'll see how far I get. But the deer, I finished the deer. I finished this flower here, this whole tree. It's pretty awesome. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it once it's done, if it's going to be an actual bell pull. But what I do know is that Jacobian, beautiful Jacobian fabric that Gerald sent me for Christmas is going to be involved. So that's my current whip. This coming Sunday is high tea in the Friday Off the Grid group. So I'm going to be bringing out my Funky Fish Carnival. I'm sorry about the weird angle. I'm not using my tripod today. I just kind of propped you up on some stuff and went for it. So this Sunday high tea is going to be my Funky Fish Carnival by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm very excited for that because I've been itching to do a full coverage piece. I haven't done one in a while. I also realized when I was looking over my focus pieces for 2019, both my Focus on a Finish and my 12 high tea pieces, I don't have any Mirabilias on the go, which is odd for me. I think the last Mirabilia I finished was the Raven Queen. And then I started Lily of the Woods. I hope you just didn't hear my stomach growl. I started Lily of the Woods on that gorgeous, gorgeous moon fabric, and I messed it up. So now she's in the timeout corner because I have to frog everything I did because I want her on that fabric, and I'm not going to waste that fabric. But I don't feel like frogging. So that's it for my whips. That's it for my cross stitch. I do want to do a book update. And this is my first time doing a book update because one of the other things that I've been doing this year is focusing on reading more. I used to be a very avid reader, and I just stopped. work, life, stitching, knitting, crocheting, all the things. I just haven't had time to read. So since I've gotten into cross stitch heavily again over the course of the past 5 years or so, I've discovered a love for audiobooks. So audiobooks for me give me the best of both worlds. I can craft while listening to a book. The downside of the audiobook is sometimes it's read by somebody that makes the book a little less enjoyable, which can deter me from continuing with that particular book. And sometimes it brings the book to life. Can't speak highly enough of Jim Dale and Harry Potter. Hands down, my favorite audiobook series, the entire series, plural, favorite audiobooks ever. That and The Help. Oh, so good. But anyway, I'm going off into another tangent. So the books that I've read 10 books so far this year. Or I've listened to 10 books so far this year, however you want to describe it, which is more than I did in the entire year last year. And the reason why, well, not the reason, but what has been helping me to get through, to get into the reading, I'm in 2 different challenges. I'm in the 2019 PopSugar Reading Challenge, where you have an entire list of 40 books or 40 categories, prompts they call them. You need to find a book that fits within that prompt. And then you have, as an additional challenge, you have 10 additional prompts to help you read 50 books in the year. That's what it's designed to do. So everything that I'm reading, I'm not choosing the books based on fitting that prompt, but I'm more choosing books that I want to read and kind of seeing where they fit in the PopSugar Challenge. The second thing that I've done is joined a Facebook group, which is kind of like a book club, and it's called This Browne Girl Reads. Browne is spelled Browne. And what she has in her book, this entire Facebook group focuses on Black authors. And she will have a month of McFadden, where she has 12 books for the entire year written by Bernice McFadden. She has a month of Morrison, 12 books for the entire year that are written by Toni Morrison. Then she has 12 selections from contemporary reads, 12 selections that are considered classic or historical or informative reads. She has all these different genres that you can choose from. And I'm focusing on reading Toni Morrison and Bernice McFadden. So I've read 2 of the books by Bernice McFadden. Oh my Lord, now I can't remember what they were called. Oh, jeez, that's embarrassing. Sorry. Sugar, and I'm looking on my Instagram page because I forgot. I can't think off the top of my head. Because I've read 10 books this year. I can't remember. Let's see. Talk amongst yourselves. I apologize. What was the second Bernice McFadden book? And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I can't think of what it's called. I'll post it here. I can't think of what it's called, but I absolutely loved it. Oh my gosh, it was about the little girl. Well, not the little girl. It was about a woman who, as an adult, was having a hard time reconciling her issues that she had with her father as a child, with the obligation she felt to be by his side on his deathbed. Completely escaped me. It'll show up below somewhere. So I've read 2 of her books. I also read 2 of Morrison's books, Sula and The Bluest Eye, both of which I've read. I won't say I've read all of Toni Morrison's books, but I've read a lot of Toni Morrison's books. But one thing about Toni Morrison, to really get to the root of what she's trying to express to you, Um, you kind of need to read it 2 or 3 times. She's very, very deep, beautiful, imaginative, lyrical writer. She's just I call her a lyrical genius. She's very gifted. I have an absolute um, high regard for Toni Morrison. But anyway, so I read a wide array of books. If you've been following me on Instagram, I posted anything from sci-fi to crime thrillers to classics. I just finished Rebecca from 1938. Um, and I also, like I said, belong to this group that focuses on African American authors. So anyway, as far as reviews go, I've been working on giving these in-depth reviews both on my Instagram feed and on my personal Facebook page. So if you follow me on either one, you will see my reviews. Um, Buckeye Stitcher asked me, she said, "How are you getting all this reading done? Did you retire?" And the simple answer is no, I didn't retire, but I'm not watching as much television. I haven't watched a lot of television at all this year um, because I have my headphones on. I have my headphones on and I'm listening to a book or um, I'm crafting, but you can't do both. You can't do both. So I haven't been watching a lot of television, which was one of the things I wanted to work on this year: less TV, more reading. And also, this helps me with getting my stitching done. I've gotten a lot of progress done on my stitching. I haven't been watching a lot of FlosStube. I did catch up on FlosStube this weekend because of the long weekend. I caught up on a lot of FlosStube. But prior to this weekend, I barely watched any FlosStube over the course of the last month or so. Past this year, really, because I started all of this reading this year. So that's my update. I don't know if I'm going to do book reviews on this channel because I post, like I said, I post reviews on my Instagram and my personal page on Facebook. If you're so inclined, if you're interested, check me out and you will see my posts there. And I usually post what I'm about to read in my stories. Yeah, so I think that's it. And yeah, I'm checking my notes here. I think those are all of the updates. So I apologize for the awkward ending, but like I said, I was just checking my notes. But I want to get this up and out, and I will start again with my regular vlogging. So go back to that because it was easier for me to crank out those videos. I don't know how long this is because there were a few phone call interruptions, so we have bits and pieces, but I think it's a good little chunk of video, maybe about 45 minutes. I don't know. So I'm going to edit this and hopefully get it up to you guys soon. But I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a great New Year so far. And everything I talked about, I will link below. So as always, be kind to yourselves and to each other. See you next time. Bye.